Hi, little birds. It's me, Jailyn, coming back at you. I have a. I'm gonna do. I will say it's almost a social justice video today, and one of the things that's really been bothering me, and I can't shake it. I've tried and tried. I can't shake the feeling, and what I'm talking about is that, you know, we have politicians in office that are supposed to be protecting our rights and putting out rights and privileges that protect us as transgender people. And yet, they don't seem to be acting on it. In fact, right now, there are 16 states that are coming after us, going to the Supreme Court saying, hey, we'd like the right to legally fire these people based on their gender expression. And I'm sorry, but to be able to fire somebody just because of who they are and how they identify is not right. It's not even on the spectrum of right and correct. And, you know, most of these states are southern states, very Bible Belt, like Mississippi. You know, I love where I spent a lot of my time growing up, but really, the bathroom bill, now they have this that they want to fire you because, oh, you can't do the work. I'm sorry, I can do the same work as a woman, a man, whoever it may be, a young person or an old person. I can do the same work at the same level. My gender, my identity does not affect how I work or do work. So it's ridiculous to think that these people are supposed to be helping us and moving the needle. Well, I say it's time for us to move the needle. We have to move the needle. We have to budget. And what I mean is that if you look at the title of my video, it says coming out of the closet but back in. And that is exactly what I mean. Is that, you know, we come out of the closet and then, you know, we do our hormones, we do our, you know, whatever we have to do to get our gender dysphoria under control and to get our body in alignment. And then we're like, okay, I'm female, I'm male, I am no longer transgender. And that changes the dialogue. That changes things. Because then we're no longer talking about being transgender because we feel we aren't. But we still are. And so in a metaphorical way, we still go back into that closet and hide ourselves from the world saying, oh, I'm fine, I'm good now. And that is not helping the rest of us, or helping those of us that are going to continue to be out and be a voice. You know, I can understand if you live in a state where persecution is going to happen, where you could lose your life because of being trans. I can completely understand that and get that. You know, stay safe. Don't endanger your life. But at the same time, we have to start being out there. We have to be our own voices. And the only way we're going to do that is by saying to people, you know, hey, I'm trans. I'm transgender. I am a person that is trans. And for people like in Mississippi in the South and stuff, as they see more people and they get to know people, they get that association. And they're like, well, there's nothing wrong with these people. What is the big deal? Why is everybody saying these people aren't right? They're crazy. And all these other things, these stigmas, these fallacies that people have of us. You know, we can't just go back into the closet and say, okay, I'm good, I'm fixed. We have to advocate for ourselves. We have to be out there. Because ultimately, if most of the public does not understand this, does not know a person that is transgender, then how are our politicians supposed to know? I doubt Trump has even met one transgender person or even talked to one, to be honest. He may have met one, but has he really sat down and talked with somebody? Has he really sat down and talked with a bunch of them? Or even any of our politicians? I highly doubt it. Yes, there are a couple transgender women that are in office now, but that moved the bar very minimally. So ultimately, we have to be out there. We have to, we're going to have to expose ourselves and be voices for ourselves. Because we can't just continue what we are doing. Because according to a few research studies, there's only 1.4 million of us. I don't think that's even correct or right. Even at the high number that some statisticians and people that do research, the highest they have transgender people at is 2.2 million people. And this is my own opinion, but in recent light of how many people I see coming out and joining the community, I think it's more. I think it's way more. I think they're underestimating how many of us there are, and the only way they are going to know is if we start doing research and we answer questions for these researchers so they can start going, hey, you know what, politicians, you need to start paying attention to these people. There are a lot more than you think. Because they think of us as a minority that is so small that and so insignificant that, hey, we don't have to pay attention to them. What's the big deal? Well, if they start seeing that there's more of us, that there are so many more of us, they're going to have to start addressing the real issues, addressing what is going on. And, they can't continue saying, oh, these people are crazy, these people don't know what they are. And then we start moving that needle. And it's just like the gays and lesbians back in the 60s. They had to be out. They had to risk their lives. They had to expose themselves and say, hey, look, we are here. We aren't going anywhere. We aren't changing. So recognize us. Protect us. Give us our God-given rights. And it's the same thing. We have to be out. We have to say, hey, we have rights as well, as people, as humans. And you can't treat us as dirt, as rocks, and just be like, toss them away. Give them their own island. So the only way we're going to do that is if we start saying to our senators, our congressmen, our president, our local legislators that, hey, I'm in your district. I am a transgender person. I am a transgender woman. And you cannot do what you are doing. I want my health coverage covered. I want my benefits covered. I don't want to have to be fired just because of how I identify. And it comes straight. It has to come from us. Because right now the dialogue is not from us. The dialogue is coming from, I hate to say it, fake news, but it's not fake news. They do report on a lot of credible news. It's just news that's unpopular to the president, okay? So, but we have to move that dialogue. We have to start moving that dialogue with everyone and saying, hey, ask me questions. Bring it to me. Don't go ask some researcher. Don't ask some psychologist. Bring it to me. Because who better to change the dialogue and to bring these things forward than us? You know, a person that has had no contact with a transgender person is not going to understand. They're not going to advocate. They're not going to be there for us. They are going to have very broad misunderstandings of what it is to be transgender. So when we come out of the closet, we can't just go back in and be like, all right, I'm fixed, I'm good. We have to stay out of that closet and advocate. We have to change what is going on, not just in our country, but in a lot of the first world countries. You know, there are other cultures like the Asian cultures that, yeah, they accept people like us, but the first world is so dichotomous that you can only be black or white, or you can only be certain things, and if you don't fit any of those boxes, you're just a weirdo, a psycho, and they start giving you other labels. And we don't need those other labels. We need to tell them our labels. We need to tell them how it is. Or the Ben Shapiros and others like him are going to put that dialogue out there. They're going to say, oh, well, your biological gender is how I am going to identify you. So you are a he. So we can't. We're on a trajectory to go down. We're on a trajectory that ultimately is not going to get us things that we want. Basic rights. I mean, I think there's been about 6 killings just in Jacksonville, Florida, of black transgender women. And have they found anybody? No, they haven't found anybody. Perhaps because they don't care. Because they're like, they're just a minority. They don't matter. Well, I'm here to say that minorities matter. You know, if blacks and African Americans, whatever label we want to give, they want to label themselves, had given up in the 1850s or soon or later than that, they would not be a recognized minority. They would still be stigmatized, and you know, they are stigmatized. So ultimately it's the same thing for them. They have to start advocating for themselves still. And look how long it's been. It's been 150 years since slavery, and yet they still have to be out there and advocate for themselves and be like, hello, I am still here. So I guess you could say this is my call to arms to say, hey, yes, great, some of us are on YouTube, but there are so many more of us that aren't on YouTube that, hey, you listen to a YouTuber, spread the word. We need to start moving this dialogue in a direction that we desire. We need to change the dialogue and what is going on. Like I'm going to school in graduate school now, and I'm going into political science, and one of the things I'm trying to do a paper on, the misconceptions and things of that people have towards us. And I cannot find any research papers because all the researchers say, and I can completely understand, and I know why they can't do it. And their reasoning is that, well, we know where some transgender people are, but they don't want to respond to our surveys because of fear of getting killed. But if it's an anonymous research thing, then why shouldn't we answer it? Why shouldn't we be like, okay, yeah, I'll answer your questions. Yeah, I'll get it done. We should be counted during the census. Absolutely, we should be counted. How many non-binary people can I say that there are? I don't know. There's nothing out there that says, oh, there are 50 non-binary people. I don't know, because none of us want to answer those questions and be like, hey, yes, I know some transgender people. Come here. I will tell you all about them. I'll let you do the research. And that's why there's not a lot of medical studies as well. If we want them to understand more and to get information from us, we're going to have to start opening ourselves up to that dialogue and open ourselves up to criticism. But we're already getting that criticism behind our backs, whether we like it or not. It is happening. But we can't continue to let that criticism happen without us saying something, without us saying, excuse me. That is not how it is. And, I've gone on some of these other YouTube channels where they're obviously doing hate and put my voice out there, whether it does anything or not. I'm still trying. And that's all I'm saying, is that we need to try. We need to put ourselves out there. We can't continue to just lay in our closets and be like, I've done my thing, it doesn't matter anymore. And that's what I think a lot of us do, is that we're like, okay, I'm out. I've done my surgeries. I've done my hormones. I'm doing, I'm good. I'm in the right place. I'm going back to stealth. And I'm not going to bring it up anymore. And if anybody asks me, I'm a woman. And that's not, like I said, it's not changing people's perceptions. I show my ex a lot of pictures of fellow transgender women, and she looks at them and she's like, wait, she used to be a guy? And I'm like, yes, she used to be a guy. Well, she looks completely woman. I'm like, yeah, that's the point. So, guys, get out there, vote. Do what you can, but put your voices out there. One of my friends back in Gainesville, I'm so proud of her, what she does, because some of the things she does, I'm not sure I could do. And Mileena just is amazing. She gets in front of a bunch of people in front of City Hall and starts going on one of those walkie things, and says, hey, look, people, and she's out there. I'm not saying that all of us need to do that, but we need to be out in our communities, out in our cities, out in our state, and be like, hey, yo, look at me. I am here. I am who I am. I'm not changing that. And I want you guys to ask me questions. I want you guys to understand. Because they can't understand if all they're getting is from the media. And the media is, very up and down as far as how they portray us. And even on TV shows, they make us like a joke almost. And it's so frustrating when I see these movies I used to love, and then I see this little clip where, oh, he's just a boy girl, or he's a sissy. And I'm like, what the hell? What is up with this? So guys, as I said, get out there, be a voice for all of us. So that is my video today. I hope maybe I moved some of you. I hope some of you share this with your friends, family, whoever, because we're not the only ones that can give a voice to this. We have family members, we have friends that support us, but if they aren't out there, advocating for us as well, it's not. Because if there are only 1.4 million of us, you know what? We have a whole lot more allies than that. And I know for sure, my family may not completely understand it, may not completely support it, but in the end, they support me. They love me. And that's also where we will get support and change, is from people that are associated with this, that know us. At my old store in Gainesville, you know what? Any of those people, I'm 100% positive have my back. If they heard something about me, they directly went to that person and like, hey, what's wrong with you? We know this person. There's nothing wrong with her. Because I can remember at least one incident where I was at the service desk and this person, I'm not going to walk you to the bathroom at Home Depot. I'm sorry, I might walk you to the area where it's at, but I'm not going to walk you there. I'm not going to baby you to there. I'll take you everywhere else in the store, but I'm not taking you to the bathroom. That's definitely not something we need to do. Now, if you have some kind of issue, for sure, I'll take you to the door. But they asked where the bathroom was, and I'm like, it's right down there, and then you turn at the wall, and it's midway up the wall. They came back to the service desk, and they were like, that she, he, it, whatever, she wouldn't take me there, and she just didn't. And it blew up, but my ASM went up there, and she was like, excuse me, so she wouldn't take you to the bathroom and you're gonna explode over this? And they're like, yeah. She was just like, that's not what we do. You can get out of our store or you can shop. So I know there are other allies just like that, they may not completely understand us, but since we are out there and they know who we are, they trust us, they will advocate. So let's get them activating the dialogue and changing that dialogue, because to continue on this path is not going to end well. It won't be positive for us. You know, I would love to see, change within my lifetime, but will I? I don't know. Maybe. So, alright guys, please subscribe, hit the little notification bell, put your comments below, put what you want to see from my channel. My channel is ultimately not just done for me. It is, but it's not. And I want to hear other voices. I may not publish the ugly ones, the ugly comments, because I don't want the ugly comments. And if you want to put ugly comments, fine. I will block you. I don't care. You know what? Because ultimately, I want positivity. And then, hit the thumbs up. All of us like a good thumbs up, a good high five. Congrats. Good job. So, alright guys. My little birds, be good, be safe, be your authentic selves. Bye.